Buenas tardes from the Camino de Santiago. You're here with Sai, Wisdom of the Way. Love to share with you today about change and the power of change, and joining you here from the Camino de Santiago, and especially here from the old Camino de Santiago. This was the path that was traveled by many for a long period of time. And when I arrived here 10 years ago to these mountains in Galicia, this was the path that pilgrims were walking, and it's relevant today because it's also about change, and been having some experiences recently, which has also invited me to consider and to remember the power of change, and that, this famous adage or quote that all things will change, all things will pass. The only permanent is change. The only guarantee is change. And it's true, but when we are in these experiences that are really maybe challenging, hard, difficult, where there's suffering and where we don't want to be in them, it's really hard to remember that that things will change. And we all have these experiences, and we know it intimately that this moment will change, whether we label it good or bad, nice or uncomfortable or whatever it might be. So hard to imagine, but a week ago here, this was white with snow. And yeah, we were super rugged up. And here we are about a week later. It's hot sun, short shorts, short sleeves, taking an afternoon break in the shade from the burning sun. And I think a week ago it would feel almost impossible to imagine that, and I'm sure for the pilgrims who are walking past here also. So I'd really like to share a bit about that, about change today, and it's an invitation for all of us to be able to remember that, because when these experiences are happening, and I think when we're having an experience that we're not liking, let's say, or it's not our preference, that well, firstly, the mind is consumed with how to escape this experience, and that what might not be pleasant, to look for something that's more pleasant. And it's incredible what the mind does, the stories that it can tell, or the sabotage that it can take, or the doubt that it can create. And it's a great reminder that in these moments when the sun returns, and this is also a metaphorical share, is that when the sun returns to inside, or when we feel that life is okay again or good again after we've been going through a challenge, then it's easy to forget where we were a week ago in the snow, or a week ago in a crisis, or in a negative situation, or facing a challenge that we didn't want to live. So how do we remember this? How do we return to this moment how do we return to this state of peace or calm or acceptance when we realize, when we are living in an experience or a moment of challenge, or of struggle, loneliness, when things aren't going our way? And that's a challenge. That's a real challenge. I'm sure you and all of us really know what this experience is like. And I'd love to know what you feel, what you think. What are the ways that you return to this place of acceptance? How do you move through it? How do you return to this more neutral state, remembering that with this perspective, that this will pass, that change will take place. It has to. It's going to happen. So a few days ago, also, I had an experience where we're about to go on a walking retreat, and the places on the retreat were full, and happened quickly. I was like excited about it, and then just some days ago, some people could no longer make it for different reasons, and all for their valid reasons. And the first day there was one person that couldn't make it, the second day another one. And I went through these different, and the third day, and the fourth day. And I went through these different experiences. So the first day was a bit of a like, oh damn, that's a shame. The second day was like, shit, what's like what's going on, and going into a state of panic or fear, or feeling like something personal, or and I could see how this doubt starts to creep in, this sabotage, or maybe it's not meant to be, maybe it's not a very good offering, maybe I can't do it. What's this, what's this doubt of the mind, like how it started to create a story when life is just happening, and for whatever reason people are not able to make it, or they change their mind. And then the third day it was like, okay, this is starting to be a comedy. and on the fourth day, and with the fourth person, it was like, okay, so this is what I'm starting to arrive to, is this is a point where I have to trust. This is a point where, okay, change will happen. I don't know why this is happening, but what's important here? And I think this is relevant to whatever we're doing in life, wherever we are, walking along the Camino, meeting these moments of the ups and the downs, that they will change. Or whether we're in our regular life, at work, or whatever the day-to-day things might be. And the question for myself in this moment is, and was, okay, I'm observing myself, I'm observing the sabotage, the self-sabotage, the doubt, and yes, I know it will change, and the mind says, yeah, but I don't like it, essentially. And I realize that as I go through this process, that it's really around acceptance. It's really around, okay, this is what happened, this is what's happening. Also, it's a part, and it's challenging, but part of that is that removing myself, my personal self, from that experience, from what is happening outside. So in this case, removing myself from my validation, or particular needs of meeting expectation, to being able to not only understand but empathize with others, or with what is the change, and with myself, of what is the change of the situation. So I could see, okay, I have an expectation. There's a like a subida. there's an up. There's a high, because it's like, whoa, there's lots of flow and it's all happening. And then there's a down, and the down is really connected to having an expectation that things are going to be in a particular way. And then this other aspect of making something more personal, or making it about me. And yeah, I really feel that this was, and it is, a challenging moment to return to center, to accept fully. But part of what was helping me in this moment was coming back to change, knowing that, okay, this has changed. I can see how quickly things changed, how quickly the sun shone, because literally also, like some weeks ago, there were days like this, where there was strong, hot sunshine, how quickly, like a week later, there was snow. It's also almost remarkable. In the springtime, super abnormal. And then a week later, there's sunshine. And it's been such a great teacher. And also, this as without, so within. So these reminders of like, oh wow, what is actually happening uh, outside in the movement of energy outside, and the day's temperature and weather is also, I mean, sometimes it can be connected inside, but it was mirroring a lot of what was happening around me and also inside. So the nature has been a great companion and teacher in this time. Um, yeah, of course, with a bit of sunshine, it helps um, uh, move a bit more easily and with a bit more grace and acceptance. But I really feel now that I start to observe that and come back to this, I realize that, well, the most important thing of all of this experience isn't whether there's sunshine or snow, or whether there's um, a full retreat or not, but that there is and to cultivate my ability to accept, to be able to come to peace with what is, and from there, then I realize that I can have a greater freedom, a greater autonomy, or a liberty to be able to move in the direction and align with nature, align with the day, align with the gift that comes, and it's amazing. Also, after a good rest, that also really helps, I think, to reset, and that was one of the other things that really helped me, and practices, having some gentle breathwork practices, meditative practices that help me come back to center, relax, and balance my nervous system. Remember, okay, everything is well, things are how they are meant to be. It's okay. I'm actually well. I'm actually really well, and the gifts keep coming, and it's beautiful. Like also this morning, that there've been reminders of that from pilgrims that I've met, and have shared some incredible stories. So yeah, I mean, I would just wanted to really share with you around the power of change, and the remembering that this too will change, whatever this moment is that we find ourselves in, and how powerful that can be to remember and to hold that in moments that are more challenging. So sending blessings and a big hug from the Camino over here, and the old Camino here, and this is just a reminder of how things change on a larger scale, and everything in its moment.